After my doctor's appointment visit this week, seeing 409 pounds on the scale, decided it was definitely time to really start to take this weight loss routine seriously. But with that, it doesn't necessarily mean I have to eat foods that are just unenjoyable. So one thing that I have found that helps satisfy kind of that sweet craving, that summery ice cream type treat, is actually using my Ninja Creami to make a version of Disney's Dole Whip ice cream. And it's super simple and easy to make. So I wanted to show you guys that process here today. So I take my Ninja Creami container, fill it up pretty close to the max fill line, throw it down on a scale I have here in front of me. One serving of this is 28 grams of powder, makes about 110 calories worth. I've found that a good ratio for this is anywhere between 3 to 5 servings for a pint. Some of that just depends on your sweet preferences, also like how much you plan to eat in a given sitting. I found that I can't finish a whole pint of Ninja Creami ice cream, no matter how good it is. I've experimented with some additional like protein ice cream type flavors before, and even if they're really, really good, I just can't finish a whole pint. So I'm probably gonna go closer to that 5 serving amount. That put it at 550 total calories, which brings me to about, if I split it into 2 servings, that gives me about, 275 per serving, which is a great, perfect little snack. Obviously the macros aren't great on it. It's mostly sugar. You don't really get a whole lot of protein with it. But sometimes you just want to eat something that's a little bit more indulgent. And this is that nice sweet treat. So I'm going to take my Ninja Creami container, water's almost full to the top. And I'm going to go in with 140 grams of powder. So that'll get me to the 5 servings, 550 calories for the pint. One little trick that I found with this is to always put your wet ingredients in first, especially with these Ninja Creami containers. It's got these little ridges at the bottom. If you do the powder first, I find that it gets stuck in the little ridges at the bottom, makes it a lot harder to kind of get the powder fully mixed in. You get a little bit of that with the doing the water first and the powder second, but it's definitely not as bad to manage. So I'm just taking my whisk and just trying to stir it till it gets fully blended together. And then just like any Ninja Creami recipe, we're going to close it up, put the lid on, and then stick it in the freezer for 24 hours. Luckily for me today, I've actually got one that's been in the freezer for a couple days now that I'm gonna get out and kind of show you what the final product looks like. So I'm gonna go put this in, get the other one out, and we'll spin it up. So this is the one that I have ready to go. You're gonna wanna pop the lid off. If it's got a little bit of a ridge to it, sometimes I like to flatten it out. This one's not too bad, but what I am gonna do is just rinse it under some warm water, maybe 10-15 seconds kind of per side. That just helps loosen up, and so you don't get a whole bunch of ice particles on the side. I've tried a couple different methods for this. Everything from leaving it out for 10 to 15 minutes, doing it straight away, and then just re-spinning it more. This has been the most effective method I've had to get really good, consistent consistency. Is to just kind of let the sides melt a little bit. It mixes in pretty well. Every now and then I'll still have to do a re-spin or two to get to that desired texture. But this has been the best method that I have found. So we'll just take this here, throw it in to the base, lock the lid in. It is helpful to have it powered on. We're going to do a full container. We're going to do this just on the regular ice cream setting. Let that run. If you haven't messed with a Ninja Creami before, they are really loud. Sorry if you have a hard time hearing me on that, but it really does make a really good creamy ice cream texture. If you don't eat it all, level off the top, put it back in the freezer, and then you can reblend it whenever you're ready. Makes a great, consistent product. You can do it with just about anything. You can make a lot of different types of protein ice cream recipes that I found to be very good. My little trick for the Ninja Creami, the one I got came with 2 of these containers. I just went on Amazon, I bought 4 more containers so I can have a couple different flavors prepped at all time. Right now in my freezer I have the Dole Whip that I've just put back in there to freeze. I also have a chocolate-based protein ice cream that's probably in the range of 200 and 250 calories with about 40 grams of protein that you can mix in. You can eat regular. I thought about mixing it in with some Oreos or something to get a little bit extra flavor in there to do cookies and cream style. I've done vanilla, I've done a lemon-based one, I've done an orange cream version. So there's all kinds of different ways you can kind of mix and experiment with flavors to get to your desired protein goals, your desired flavor goals. Honestly, the other day I did one that was kind of a full fat, ended up being like 1,800 calories for the whole pint, just to experiment and see what it would taste like. And I actually enjoyed the kind of protein ice cream versions even more than a full fat version that I did the other day. So obviously the options are limitless. I'll probably show a couple more recipes in the future just as I kind of develop and find things that I like to fit into my diet. But definitely get you some extra containers. That way you can always have a few prepped at a time. That way you're craving pineapple one night, or you're craving traditional ice cream, or if you want some type of cookies and cream. I'm not a big peanut butter person, but I've seen a lot of people doing like peanut butter cup type flavors that seem like they would be good if you're into peanut butter. So you can always have some variety there to get whatever type of taste you want. But this, even just after one spin, just looks perfectly creamy and delicious. It tastes like Disney World. So good. I'm actually going to take my Ninja Creami with me on vacation next week. Not even necessarily thinking about diet purposes, but just to save some money. You know, a cup of Dole Whip. We're going to Disney's Hilton Head Resort. It's like $5 for a small little cup of Dole Whip. I have already made 4 pints of this. I still have plenty in the bag, and I've already pre-portioned enough to make 10 to 15 pints at the beach when we go. So this is definitely a Disney hack if you love Dole Whip. $40, I think, for this whole entire bag. And it's gonna make you 20-ish pints of Dole Whip ice cream. So I'm gonna enjoy probably about half of this, and we'll see you next time.